Welcome back to take 2 of cooking Tinaktak. Anyhow, I've already done my straining here, and here we go. We see that, not all the juices have been strained out of the ground beef cooking here with the onions and the garlic. Obviously, you can see that the onions are still intact. That's going to be your goal, because everyone wants to taste the zing of a delicious onion here. Always use yellow onions. And just a quick recap. A quick recap of what we used here is a little bit of oil, about 1 tablespoon of oil, and then I cooked it into the garlic and to the onions, and then after that I threw in my ground beef. And then the next step is, once you've strained your ground beef and you see it like this, in this particular motion, you're going to want to throw in the rest of your additives. And because I'm using, out here in the mainland, it's called Chinese green beans, but in our culture it's called frijoles. This is the type of green beans that you want to use. You don't want to use the split pea looking green beans, because it just doesn't taste the same. And so that's going to be what I'm going to throw in next. The reason for this is that it takes a little longer than your typical split pea green beans would require. Now, that's the amount of green beans I'm using for this amount of ground beef. It's usually, use your imagination to determine what amount of green beans to utilize for the amount of ground beef or meat you're using to cook. My goal is now to sort of smother the green beans into the ground beef. And, once you get that done, you'll know that it's going to continue cooking, or the green beans or frijoles will continue to cook in this hot piece of meat here. And so the next step I'm going to do is I'm going to add my coconut milk that's in nizuk. And for this amount of ground beef, it's also to your eye. You guys know what Tinaktak looks like, right? Technically, you want it to be like a meat dish with a little bit of savory juice. Not too much, not like kaddu or not like soup. You want it to be just enough to look like, sort of like a stew. That's my first can. And I'm going to add my second can. 2 cans for this dish. The next step I'm going to do is I'm going to wash my hands, and then I'm going to grab my lemon. If you chop the lemon in half, you'll see the grid lines of the seeds, harboring inside the fruit. Then you can remove it like that. So that way when you squeeze the juice of the lemon over the hamburger, or the, I'm sorry, I say hamburger, but it really is ground beef, you'll catch the seeds and not have to worry about anyone biting into a bitter piece of seed. So I'm going to go around like this. And I use 2 lemons, which comes out to 4 pieces for this amount. And now, you guys, golf importante, very important for this. If you live in the mainland and you have a garbage disposal, or even if you live in Guam and you have a garbage disposal, put the lemon in your sink and prepare to just leave it there so you can run it through your garbage disposal. And that's what I'm about to do. So that way you can keep the multum smell out of your garbage disposal. It works really well. Just run those lemons through. Now I'm gonna dalaka this. I'm gonna get my mitten, or mitten, Taginian, Taganaw, or like this and like that.
I think he's smitten with that mitten.
Smitten with the mitten? Yo. Thank you, Jan. Alright. Wow, looking nice. So my last additive here is gonna be about 1 cup of cherry tomatoes. That looks fantastic, I'll tell you. that is all my additives here. I'm gonna have this cook into like a little paste. You're gonna want to add a few more seasonings here. A little bit of black pepper. Oh no! Babe's at work late tonight, so I can't ask her for the salt, but where's the salt? The salt? Okay. This is what you do if you don't have the salt available to you. You can improvise by using another kind of salt, like a zesty salt or sea salt or any kind of salt. Oh, and our prestige cameraman has just directed me to where the salt's at. Thank you, John. Here you go. I'm going to add about approximately...
I'm not Babe, but I'll do.
Yeah, you'll do for now. I'm going to add 1 tablespoon. And I know by the... I just know. Okay. 1 tablespoon of salt. And then I'm going to come on over here. And I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of soy sauce. I'm going to zalaka it one more time. And then I'm going to cover it with foil because my pot cover here looks horrendous and I don't want to use it for anything showing, you know, whatever. And I'm gonna keep it here cooking under foil for another 30 minutes. By that time, and I'm using high right now, but I'm gonna move it to medium. Cook it for 30 more minutes. Have it, you know, absorb the savory juice of the tomatoes, the green beans, and you know, just the juices that extract from the ground beef, and then it's ready to go. Stay tuned into the pictures, or what the picture, better to say. Stay tuned to the picture to see what the final product looks like, and I hope you guys enjoyed this dish. Tinaktak guahan. All right, thank you guys very much for tuning in.